To we are live. I wonder if we're showing the.
Hey guys, it's a Tuesday in the U.S. It's a Monday in Australia. It must be Amigos time. Just the two of us this week. There's of course me and my good buddy Chris. We just been shooting the shit about life, and we thought we'd kick it live and see what you guys have to say. So here we are. Get on with it.
So yeah. Otherwise, what's up, guys?
That was you.
Oh wow! Oh man, I'm so good at this. It's my first time. Welcome to the show. As Lee just said, it's Amigos Monday. We are down at Breezetones. He is out being an international businessman, handling stuff. Otherwise, it's good to see you guys here. You know, we got Legion here to introduce me, Krusty Vandal, and in the chat we've got quite a few people. It looks like, so thank you for being here. Glenn Hefner dropping links for the Amigos code. If you guys didn't know, you get 20% off localvape.com using the code Amigos20, where you can buy Breezetones coils, and we have 2 new sets of Breezetones coils coming in soon. We got Take Begins. Shannon, what's up, bro? Drip Vibe Vapor, thank you for being here. Jangles, as always. Great Wombatsky. ID Voca, thanks for coming in tonight, man. And Shoestring Tom, what's up? I think he's over in Ireland. He actually won something from us not that long ago and got it, so yeah.
And I just got a comment. Glenn's plot twist that you and I will be riding hobby horses in a no-holds-barred fight to the death. Absolutely. If we can ever get together, we are going to enact that, but only if we can do it naked.
Naked, and then that's what your Patreon money's going to. We just lost all of our Patreons. Jason's in the chat. Welcome, Jason. Good to see you here again. And yeah, so we got to add that to the list. I don't know if you saw it. There's a video of like kids riding around on those little hoverboards with the head horses on a stick, and they're playing like that Old Town Road radio song or whatever, going in circles around their kitchen. And I've never wanted a hoverboard more in my life.
I have not seen that yet because I am old and not up to date with the current memes.
Memes are life. But yeah,
it's funny. You know, it's weird. Like I'm coming up on 52 this year, and you know I still feel like I did when I was like 19 or 20. I'm still immature and stupid, and I play my loud rock music while I'm making a mess and all that, whatever. You know, I just feel like a kid. But I got a 17-year-old stepson, and man, does that guy throw shade at me like constantly, like you don't know the memes, you don't understand what's going on. I try my best, but you know, it just makes me feel so fucking old. And nothing really makes you feel old as that mid-argument moment when you realize that you're saying the exact same things your parents said for the same reason, and now you fucking understand what a little fucking annoying shit you were. Yeah. That's my rant.
It's the best part about it, too. I'm only half your age, you know, I'm only 12, but I feel the same way when I see, like, new memes going around. Like, nowadays, there's, like, these memes. I don't understand. It's, like, a bowl of cereal, and then, like, Godzilla, and it's like, what if we were to love? And I'm like, what does this even mean? I'm like, am I not smoking enough pot? Am I just not cool anymore? Like, what's going on? You guys need to rate me, like, make a book, memes for old people, because I'm 34, 33, I think. I don't even know, but yeah.
There's some progression where they've gone from you know irony to surrealism to just completely out there. Literally, like memes could be a bowl of cereal. Forget Godzilla; it could just be a bowl of cereal, and like you'll have 14-year-olds just cracking up, like "Check it out, Dad! Check it out!" I'm like, what the fuck? It's a bowl. Yeah, it's a bowl of cereal, man. It's fucking hilarious. And I'm like.
It's like I don't think you'll experience this, but the ladies' parents are a little bit older, you know. So like when I show them memes and stuff, they're not tech savvy either. They're like, "Oh, who is this person? Do you know who that is? Is that your friend?"
I'm gonna take a timeout just for 2 minutes.
Yeah, do
because my yard guy's here.
If you guys didn't know, Legion's fancy gets his yard detailed like you guys get your car detailed. But anyways, while he's gone, I'll go ahead and start out the buffet. If you guys want to throw in what you're vaping tonight, as always, I didn't mix it up. Got Rocket Blast. And the top side with a Go and Goat coils because I'm lazy and I'm afraid to build. But yeah. So wherever you guys are vaping on, throw it in the chat. And later, if you're here for the giveaway, we are going to be giving away, courtesy of Erica at Local Vape, gave this to me for free to give away to you guys, a green Hex Angels V2. This thing is fucking mint. Great condition. I don't think there's a scratch on it. And we got it for free from Erica. So thank you, Erica. Evan Sanders, welcome. Good to see you in the chat. My co-host Legion is off taking a poop. No, he's not pooping. But yeah, so we'll be giving that away later. You guys make sure to stick around for that. And then otherwise, yeah, that was what you're vaping on. Raven's in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. And yeah, you came in perfect time for shenanigans because it's me by myself. And that should never ever be something that happens. I think it's a law somewhere that I always need an adult around. Even though I may be 30-something years old, I still need an adult. We got Tick Begin, Shannon with the Slam Piece by Purge Mod, and a Money Shot by Purge Mod, so he's got like a $45,000 setup right there. Blueberry Morning with Steven Sard and his K-Fun. And then, let's see, Jingles with an Overpowered and a Single Cell TM Pro 24 and some Blue Raspberry by Massacre Vape. And that TM24 Pro is pretty clean fucking RDA. I never had one personally. I photographed it a lot. And that thing was very easy to photograph. I love taking pictures of that one. And we got Drip Vibe Vapor. Vaping on the top side with Athena RDA. On top and side got some Ape X. Shoestring Tom with a Defiant Rebirth. Anarchist Pink. If you didn't know, I have a collection of Anarchist Pink because that's my second favorite juice. Right now, I'm stuck on the Rocket Blast. Glenn with his Breeze Tones coils. You get it at localvape.com. NWO, whatever. And SPKD from Team Full Steam Rounding It Out. Nice. I don't know what half of those devices are. So, yeah, there you go. That's why you don't ask me for advice. You ask this gentleman that just sat down.
I'm back. Yeah, I suck at yard work and plants and all that stuff. So our house over the last 10 years, it just went to seed. And so we got a guy who comes and takes care of it. And over Christmas, we let him not come for a while, saves money. And everything got shit again. So he's back. And he's going to start taking care of that soon. So
nice.
That's where I went.
I just had everyone go over the buffet, got everyone throwing in what they had. I had the usual, you know. And then I was reading everyone else's. We got Voga with the Stack God mod with a drop topside light, I'm guessing, Expermizer. I can't even speak today. V4 and a topside dual with a profile 1.5. And we got Raven. She's hanging out. Good to see her back. With a
Yeah, I've seen you in a while, Raven.
Yeah.
Nice to have you back.
Yeah, good to see you. We got the Puxos? I'm gonna get that wrong. With the profile. What? Say it again.
Puxos?
Puxos?
Poon sauce?
Poon
Poon
sauce?
sauce. No, that's something else.
That's a guy over on the other channel.
Yeah, I don't know. I never know how to pronounce things. Even when I'm reviewing them, I'll stumble over like 12 times.
That's a good question, actually. So when you get something new and you don't know how to say it, do you ask them or do you just wing it and hope it's good?
I just wing it.
No.
Literally. I just wing it. Usually it's kind of straightforward. Sometimes there might be some variants, and then, you know, in the ways you could, and I'll like throw in all of them. Sometimes if it's like the orphan, the old FRF, whatever, yeah, like every reviewer, we just make fun of the name and slur it. You make it a feature of the video that you can't say the name.
There you go.
So yeah, I'll jump into my buffet. Really, really simple. The same as last week. I have the Asmodus Thingy Bobby on the Aegis, which is running shit juice that I have left. I have changed the coil. I killed the first one because I ran like 5 bottles of different juice in there. So new coil. Got another 5 bottles to go. We'll kill this one off. Of course, my axial and topside combo with pink lemonade. Never, ever going to get rid of that. And finally, this, which is the Odin, and
Secret.
actually it's not that much of a secret. It's the intake sub-ohm tank from Mike Vapes, which is not officially released now, which should have been out about 2 weeks ago, but China. And so it's been held off, and he hasn't done his video, so none of us can do our video, and can't fucking buy it. But it's not a bad little sub-ohm tank. And I'm running some banana cream pie. I've been out of this for a while. I had some Nick salts, which I really liked the flavor, but not the Nick salt side. And I just kind of held off for a while. Really nice to have that back. It's a really, really, really nice juice. Glass do really nice juice. I really like Glass.
I like their labeling too.
Pretty much it. Like I said last week, we are in the drought. Nothing new is coming in. I have no reviews this week. I have no reviews for the next week. I have nothing lined up. I have nothing new on my desk. I'm just lazily vaping what I was vaping, because all it takes is filling it up and moving on.
Yeah. Also in the chat,
I'm kind of going through vape mail withdrawal, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm
Are you still in neighbors packages?
Yeah, and get a little jittery there. I normally have a pile. I'm really bad. Okay, I know if you watch Grim Green, he saves his vape mail for the live show, and he gets out a big bag and he does all the opening. And so at the end of the day, he's got a bag and he just picks up what's on the floor and he's done. I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I open everything. As soon as it comes in, I'm really excited about it. Even after years of doing reviews, it's like, what is this? What does it do? It comes in a little baggie. I'm really excited. And so I tear open the boxes. I have a beautiful knife. And I tear open my boxes, and they go down there, right there, on the floor. And they're really annoying the crap out of my wife, because they build up. It's like, after a month or two, like it's starting to get like eye level, and there's throw more on top. Some bubble wrap, and it just builds up. And then I go, okay, fuck it. And I sit and I spend, literally it takes me like 45 minutes to sit and break down every box, put them all together. But and they build it up. So my floor is clean. It's being cleaned for like, almost a month now. And it's kind of sad. There's nothing new, nothing exciting.
You start mailing yourself your own stuff?
Just re-reviewing old items. Like, I know I reviewed this before, but I'm going to do it again.
Like a 10-year anniversary, like a high school yearbook or something?
I've thought about doing that with a few things in the past. I may pull out a few things. I may review my Hexum just for you.
And then I might use it.
Well, that's you gotta learn how to use it.
Yeah.
I gotta do a video for you so you can know how to use it.
And if I ever get shouted out on the Legion Vapes channel, that's when I know I made it in the vape famous scene. You know what I mean?
You should do that. You should do videos that are directly focused on one person. Anyone else can watch. But everything I say, like, okay, Chris, so when you take the lid off, you got to be really, really careful because you don't want to knock that button, blah, 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 etc. Literally, focused on one person. And title it, Chris Vandal's Hexome Review.
But you got to make that person that you made it for specifically pay for the video, but everyone else gets it for free.
I'm not Jays. I'm not making pay for video.
You're not a dead fish at a supermarket laying there on the cold ice? It's enough of me talking shit. I wanted to shout out real quick, big shout out to Brett Jordan. It is his birthday today, and he has been around forever with the show. Thank you for coming in, and happy birthday, dude.
Happy birthday, man. Are you as old as me yet? You'll get there. Or maybe you've been there. I don't know.
Beard not included.
No idea. I have no idea how old Brett is.
I see him on Facebook. He looks like he's living the life, so.
Yeah. I am going to go through some stuff with you guys today before we get to, or back to random chatter and stuff. I have a list I've made. One of them I've already touched on, of course, coronavirus. China is in, well, it's not a lockdown, it's not a slowdown, it's just a complete stop. And some other reviewers have mentioned this, but I want to make sure that we're all very clear on this. You're going to see on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram little notifications that they're back for business, everything's back to normal, we're ramping up production. Don't believe it. It's not true. Quite complex on how it works, but basically what's happening is that most of the companies, their head offices are restaffed. They brought in the 20 or 12 or whatever amount of people. They have, their executives and their designers and maybe their PR people, but the factories are still shut down and empty. They're not running yet. So this is going to take a while to get through. It's going to take a while till things come back to normal. Probably looking at a good month and a half, 2 months from now at least. So again, if you are a fan of pre-made coils, stock up now. Like don't leave it to the last minute. They're going to run out. The next thing I want to talk about, just want to touch on HR 2339. Most of you guys are in the States and you know what that is. I've been paying close attention over the last week. It's my feeling that this will not pass. It's gone through one house. The other house is going to knock it down. And even if it slides through, you've got a man in a big seat who's just going to go, no, not doing that. Let's figure something else out. It's not going to pass. That doesn't mean that you need to relax and not do your part. You still need to speak. You still need to contact your representatives. My feeling is that this is a feint. This is a first volley in a war, and it's going to come back again and again and again until some sort of compromise. What they've done is they put out a bill that is way too much in all directions, and it's going to get chipped down. It's going to get reworked till eventually there's some sort of compromise. And the thing with compromise is that you need to speak. You need to voice your concerns. You need to make sure that your representatives know what you need, what you want, so that when they are working with these things, they can know where to compromise and where not to. I think we're all on board that if convenience stores get blocked and barred, we're all cool with that. But online sales, that may seem like an easy thing for your representatives to give up, but you know that there are many, many of us that are unable to get to stores, that live too far away, that are physically infirm or whatever, and online sales are the lifeblood of this industry. So we need to protect those things. So don't be too scared right now. It's not like they're going to do a blanket ban tomorrow. It's not going to pass, but be vocal, because when it comes down to it, we need to make sure that it is done right. Which brings me on to Australia. Yes, but before I get to that, what are you going to say, man?
I was just going to say it's important that we keep our voices going, even though after we felt like this is a win, because when you stop doing it, they stop paying attention to you. The more that you're in their faces about it, and you keep bugging them about it, and you keep doing it, and you keep putting it out there, it's going to show that's a consistent voice out there. This isn't a one-time win event. Like Steve said, this is one battle in the war. So the longer that we keep it up and keep it going, it's going to stay in their heads that this is something that you should pay attention to. Especially now with, you got stuff like the CDC and the FDA retracting statements and the studies and all this stuff about saying that it was nicotine vaping that made people sick. It's a big deal now because now they're being called on their crap, which is not proven and true. And now hopefully we can hope with our, that they actually put in the due diligence to look into the benefits of it other than the bullcrap mainstream media fear-mongering that's going on. But that's all I had.
You actually raised really, really good points, and they actually tie into what I was about to talk about, which was what's going on right now in Australia. And it's confusing for a lot of people on this side, and even more confusing for those of you not in Australia who don't understand how things work here. So just a little bit of background before I get into what's happening, because if you don't know how it works, it won't make sense. In Australia, we can sell e-liquid without nicotine with no problem, and hardware and all that. And there's really not been much talk about flavor bans. It's kind of there, but it's not really a big issue here, because nicotine itself is not legal here. It's a scheduled substance. You have to have a prescription to even get your hands on it. No one can sell it. No one can trade it. If you want nicotine, you have to buy from overseas. And technically, according to the law, you must have a prescription for that. That's the current law. That's the way it has been for a very, very long time. So the way that most of us work here is we either buy pre-made juice, ready to vape, just buy it straight from overseas, or what is really, really common is people buy very, very high strength. They buy 100 milligram bottles, and they add just the right amount. 100 milligram is the ideal strength because it doesn't take too much away from the flavor. If you have too weak, then it ends up being flavorless pap. So that's kind of the way it works here. Keep in mind, though, like I said, you have to have a prescription to import. Most people don't. Border control don't check. Stuff gets ordered, it
They
gets
just rip
shipped,
it.
turns up on our door. They don't worry about it. Border control almost never sees a parcel. They never call you and ask. Technically, you should, but most people don't.
Especially with it being considered a medicine almost, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, if you have a prescription for it, then it's considered, it's for medicinal use. But like I said, that's kind of the line. That's an important thing right there. The fact that you should have it, the law says you should have it, that you're allowed to import a 3-month supply, no definition on what that is, but border control haven't been checking. And that's how the vaping industry has grown and has thrived here, with that little tiny loophole and the lax enforcement of it. So what we've had over the past week is two things. We've had a senator, Senator Sterling Griff, has made a motion in the government to, if not block that, to highly and strongly enforce that, which will really piss off border control, because now they'll have to check everything.
yeah.
Every single import will be either held or destroyed, and if it's held, then they're going to have to try and find out if you've got a prescription or not. Again, most of us don't have it. Most doctors won't even bother prescribing it. I don't know, why are you doing it? Why don't you just use gum? Yeah, so there's that side, and that's because that started a dialogue, a discussion. It's really enraged the local community, and they started acting, which is good, and I'll get into that in a second. The other side is that our Minister of Health, Greg Hunt, who is not the most informed gentleman in the world. He is a politician, and he comes at this from a lawyer background. He's not a scientist. He's not a doctor. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's the person who has stated that vaping will never be legalized in this country, not on his watch. That's what he said. He, at the same time, gave an edict or contacted Border Control and asked them to properly enforce the law. So again, this is not a change in the law. This is just active enforcement of what currently exists, the way he feels it should be. Again, this has long-term effects, because if they do that, it slows everything down at the border, things don't come through, things get sent back or destroyed. You've got to have a proper prescription, all that stuff. So it's kind of a mess. But the good side is that it really has brought the community together again. It's got them active again. It's got them speaking out and contacting their representatives. And we're seeing more and more representatives changing their opinion. You know, it's like the States, it's mostly on the right side, but they're starting to voice their support, which is a very, very good thing. I hope that the long-term effects of this is that it's created dialogue, it's created an information stream, and it's really sort of messed up the waters so that, you know, we have decent regulation by the end of it, rather than, you know, what they're proposing at the moment. But it's also enraged me a lot, because this is an issue that I've seen and I've dealt with for a long time. Because of the way things are here, the majority, and I think I'm fair in saying that, the majority of Australian vapers don't care about advocacy. In fact, they're against it. I know that seems weird.
Why would you say that?
The majority of Australian vapers don't want to see vaping legalized or regulated in this country.
So you mean
because
instead of some kind of restrictions, no restrictions or at all, basically?
they feel that the status quo is pretty good right now. Because, dude, I just go on the internet and I order 500 mils of 100 milligram and I buy my juice and I'm all good.
But you're next on the list to get hit.
They don't tax me for it. So, and I hear this. As soon as they legalize it, watch them tax us out our asses on it, which is fair enough. We have obscene taxes on smoking in this country. But the short-sightedness of that mentality enrages me. The idea that regulation isn't inevitable. It's not coming eventually. So whatever. Well, I don't want to support any kind of advocacy. I don't want to sign any kind of things because it's not, when we raise attention, then we'll get in trouble. Just leave it as it is.
They're already coming after you.
It's such a selfish, backwards. I think anyone who's watched me go on about this in the past know that the disabled, the homeless, the infirm, people who live regionally and can't get to places, they are always on my mind. I'm not a fan of pods, but I am a big supporter of their existence because they should be out there for the people who can't deal with the more complex devices. I think that everyone should be able to go to the store and buy a bottle of e-liquid or carts pre-filled. I think that should just be the easiest and the simplest solution. I don't think that anyone's 65-year-old grandmother should be sitting there at the kitchen table with a syringe and a bottle of 100 milligram and trying to figure out how many mils did you say I have to put in there to get the 6 mil, dear? Like, that shouldn't ever be a reality. That's not safe.
Especially because you're putting it in the hands of people that are unexperienced when you're creating, that's what I would call that a black market, but you're creating a subgenre of people trying to medicate themselves using it, and they could get wrong and get sick when it could be easily enough to be accessible for everyone and is safe.
Look, when I mix, it gets on my hands, doesn't bother me. But, I spent years of working in kitchens. There's not as much feeling in here anymore. My wife, when she gets pre-mixed liquid on her hands, really irritates her skin. It goes red. It really bothers her. We shouldn't be having like 100 milligram floating around unless you're a DIYer, unless you are very cautious and know what you're doing. The option should be there to go to the store and buy 6, 3, 12, whatever the right strength is for you off the shelf. I strongly believe in legalization and domestic market. I think it's kind of ridiculous that we have to buy from overseas. It doesn't serve the public health. It doesn't serve public safety. And I really feel that the majority of Australian vapors who are against this are just shooting themselves in the ass for the sake of convenience. Ultimately, regulation is inevitable. And if you don't fight, like I said before, if you don't fight for common sense, health-based regulation, safety-based regulation, then they'll just take it off the table. And if they close that loophole,
and that's the thing people don't understand. It's going to eventually move on to them. Like, it's not just like they're not going to take away one thing and be happy with it. They're going to take away, if they take away from the main force of vapors, you become such a small, minute group that your voice will mean nothing.
Exactly, which is kind of what they want. And like I said, even over this past week where we've had more and more advocacy-based posts in various groups and stuff, I've seen constantly people chiming in with this other side, like, don't rock the boat. It's good enough for me. Everything works smoothly right now. Yeah, it works smoothly for you, but not for everyone else. And guess what? Like I said, they close that loophole. It's fine. I don't care what they do because I'll just order my nicotine. They won't. Not when it gets stopped at the border. What are you going to do? Buy that bargain basement stuff from the tobacconist? You don't know where that came from or what's in it?
Yeah.
And how long is that going to last? When that's gone, what are you going to do? We are an island with a border all the way around it. I mean, do we end up having boats floating in with like illegal nicotine supplies?
I'm pretty sure they'll just stick to the cocaine, nicotine,
and dropping into the desert.
What you can call it a care package for nicotine. And that's the thing, is a lot of people don't realize, and that's a point that you bring up, which is a very good point. For the most part, I see a lot of people here that, especially in our chat, they follow us on social media. We see them on social media because we follow them as well, doing stuff. And it does take a community to come together. It's not about fighting just for what you want. It's about fighting for what everybody wants, because all together we can be cohesive. You take away one from the other, you're creating a void that needs to be filled. And then that void turns into bad things. People start getting mad at one side or the other. And now, like you said, you've got vapors getting mad at other vapors for trying to save it for them. You know what I mean? And it just creates a bad, toxic vibe. It's not a good time for anyone when you do that. So that's why it's all about community, not community me, you know?
Yeah, there's no room in this community for sections to throw other sections under the boat. We get divided and we lose. You know, we need to stick together, and we need to be aware that, you know, like I said before, or in other videos, it doesn't matter what you vape. If you don't like pods, that's fine, but stop saying that pods are killing the industry. Pods work for a lot of people. And if you like pods, stop saying that mechs are bombs and no one should have them. They work for a lot of people. Support everyone in their choices, support everyone in their efforts, and protect the entire industry. Thing is, look, I see that that's happening. If we block the ports or we block customs, then there's no nicotine coming in. All of a sudden, a large portion of our vaping community will go back to smoking right off the bat. Can't get nicotine? I'll get it elsewhere. And they're not going to vape and use patches. They're going to go back to cigarettes.
Yep.
So sales in local industries, local juice manufacturers, local vendors plummet. All of a sudden, the local industry is decimated. And it's gone. And then we just have these small companies that can only bring in a few handful of things and a small range of liquids, of course, no nicotine for anyone, that it becomes worse and worse and worse. It literally is a death knell for the industry. And for people to say, oh, it's fine because the status quo works for me, they're just not thinking about the long term or the broader community.
And you got
anyway,
no,
that's my rant.
You're definitely right on that. We got to come together with this. And the thing is they'll put stuff out there and they'll push us against one side or the other, whether it's pod stuff like that. And if they don't, like, say it's not an influenced act that people are hating on one or the other, you're tearing apart the community from the inside, and they don't have to do it for them, or they don't have to do it for you. They're going to tear it apart. They're making us go at each other's throats, when that right there just creates dissonance between us, and then we don't come together to fight on anything. So it's really important that we stick together, whether you like stuff like that. You'll never catch me fucking on a pod. Do I like them? No. But do I know that the guy that goes and picks them up because he quit smoking cigarettes and he's never been in a vape shop, but he sees them on the thing and he tried them and it works for him and he can't get access to them now? What's he going to do? He's literally paying to go get sick and eventually get the chance of getting cancer and die. So when you give in, this is what you're going into. You're literally giving into the man. You know what I mean? If any of you out there are hardcore rebels and shit like that, it's not cool to beat each other up. So.
No, like I said, there's no room for division. It's why you'll never see me publicly attacking other reviewers or notables in the industry. That whole drama thing that keeps floating around time and time again. I have no time for that. I have no interest in that. I mean, fair enough. Sometimes on Facebook it can be amusing for an hour or two to go through someone's posts where they're going back and forth, but I just keep coming back to how much effort is put into fighting, arguing, when that could be put towards more positive things. We don't have a strong enough voice to start tearing ourselves apart that way.
It depends on each and every one of us. So we got to do our part, guys. But let's see. We're about 25 minutes out. Did you have something else on your list you want to knock out?
The only last thing I was going to say was my documentary. Did I mention, in the last video I mentioned I was going to start crowdfunding. That went through, so crowdfunding has started. It's been about just under a week now. If you've seen my posts, share them. If you've seen my videos, share them. I'm not asking anyone to donate. Do if you want to, but this movie won't get made if I can't make the budget. And so the best thing that anyone can do for me right now is just get that word out there. Let people know that this is a project that's going on, and they can make it happen because, yeah, I can post in a million places, but I just end up looking like a spam artist. But if other people post on my behalf, then that's genuine, that's real. If you believe in vaping, then you believe in the stories that I'm trying to tell. And I do honestly believe that this film could actually make a difference. We've got the scientific side out there, we've got the legal side out there, but I really want to highlight that personal journey. And I really want to break away from snapbacks, tattoos, and a hipster vibe. I want to really show that it's genuine people. It's housewives. It's businessmen. It's your grandpa. It's the guy down the road that you never thought would be into this modern, newfangled electronic stuff. But it's working for him. I want to show that side of things and really make it personal.
And if you guys haven't seen any of the videos that Steve's made, they actually come out really fucking good. Like, I knew Steve was really good at video editing and stuff, but make sure you go check out his page, whether it's on Instagram at Legion Vapes, like it's right under his name on the video right here, or on Facebook at Legion Vapes, and he's got the videos up there, and they're really clean. Like, it looks like something you'd see from like mainstream media, how clean it just rolls down the screen. You did the one where it was scrolling over. It did like the first. I'm okay. I'm gonna sound stupid when I explain it. At first, started like Star Wars, and then it did the cut over, and it started rolling down. I was watching. I was like, damn, man, that just flowed so good. And I don't video edit. That's why I'm very impressed, guys. I'm a terrible at video editing. But I saw those videos. I was like, damn, dude, Steve's really putting his heart into it. So please, if you guys haven't, go check it out. And of course, I don't know if you have any links popped up already, Steve. Always in the chat, man.
Well, it's funny you say that. I can grab one right here.
Boom, there you go.
Hey.
But yeah, Steve's started this started planning a little while ago, and now it's finally getting into fruition. He's putting it together, and I think it's going to be a great video for a lot of people from outside the industry or community and all that to see, because it's bringing the personal touch and perspective of how it's affected people personally. Not that any other type of advocacy is wrong, but this one puts a personal touch on it, so that when you hear these people's stories, you're going to know who they are, why they're doing that, and how it's made an effect on them.
That's the goal, anyway.
Jingles, have
Fingers
a good
crossed. I make the budget. What's Jingles saying?
Oh, Jingles was heading out, so I was telling him good night.
Jingles, you're leaving us heartbroken, but see you next time.
But yeah, so if you guys haven't, Steve just put the link in there for his Instagram right there, so make sure you go check that out. And if you guys didn't know, he also does reviews on YouTube. And he does, it's nothing going to be fresh for a while. Like you said earlier in the show, we got all the stuff going on with China right now. But if you ever need any good information, it's always a good place to learn. Always honest. You're not going to see him going, yo, this unicorn jizz juice is delicious, bro. Vape it, fam.
Unicorn jizz. Yum.
But I don't really have anything going on. So you know what? Let's go ahead. And you guys go ahead and start hitting the X1s in the chat. Tonight we do have a green Hex Angels V2, which is fucking mint condition, from Erica at Local Vape, my boss. She had a box of stuff at work. She was like, hey, you can have this giveaway on your channel. And I was like, dude, I'll totally shout you out. She's like, yeah, whatever, get back to work. So, boom, shout out to Erica at Local Vape, gave us a bunch of this stuff. A lot of stuff you see up here, which we will be giving away the features from her as well. And then, speaking of the band thing, while you guys are throwing the X1s, Jingles on Friday won a Rigmont tanker, and so we're going to see how good my skills are at fooling customs on getting a part in. So we're going to find out soon enough how that works.
So that hex you showed there, there's not even a scratch on the bottom.
No.
Not even the mark.
I will tell you guys that it is used. I believe Erica used it herself. But if you guys don't know, she's a very articulate businesswoman, which takes care of her things. And so this thing is fucking bitchin'. It's like top notch. I feel bad touching it with my fingers because I'm sweaty. So you guys get that for free. But dude, like not even a scratch on the battery case or nothing. Like super clean.
Sweet.
And also, I will do a quick disclaimer. If you do win from Australia, I'm going to still try to send it out. And if customs nabs it, we'll find out.
If it's hardware, it'll get through fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming too.
It's e-liquid that's a bit of a dodgy thing right now. I'm waiting to see what happens over the next 2-3 weeks. You hear a lot of reports back from people that they've just made orders and they're a bit worried. So we're waiting to see what they say, if their order through. I mean, it really depends on, the Minister for Health has issued a directive to Border Control. And that's really up to them whether they just kind of file that or go, oh my God, it's the minister, I've got to act on this. They may just view it as like, yeah, more paperwork, keep doing what we're doing.
I will speak from personal experience for working for the U.S. government when I was in the Army, that when something comes down from the top like that, so the guys that are out in the streets doing the work, usually we just go, okay, so hopefully they do the same thing.
Yeah, whatever, Greg, whatever you say.
Yeah.
You don't sign my paychecks, I don't give a fuck.
Oh, man. But, yeah, otherwise I ain't got nothing new. I'm sorry, guys. I was gonna think of something, but, I had shut time before the thing. Oh, yeah, well, real quick, we'll shout out. Check out before our show on Mondays, Vaping with the Omies. They got Frames Janklin. They got, Oh My Danta. They got, Poon Sauce McNasty. They got a couple of cool guys on there. I'm probably forgetting a few. I always do. But anyways, they're on before us at 5. And they're great guys. And then also, we will be back on Friday with my awesome co-host, which is also in the chat, handling it with a wrench, Glenn, and we do the Friday Fallout. It's not as clean cut as this show. It's more of a come hang out and have fun, but we do giveaways on there as well. We'd like to see you guys there if you want to come by. We'll probably give away, let's see, I don't know, something. I got a bunch of shit to give away. We'll figure it out. But we'll put it on a post and all that. Oh.
So,
go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
I got a challenge for you. We mentioned it last week. I've mentioned it this week. There are 2 absolutely beautiful hexomes on your back shelf. Next Monday, I want to see you vaping on one.
All right.
I really want to see you doing that.
So I'm not gonna do okay, fine. I'll start slow and early. I'll start slow and easy. Excuse me. I'll do the mod first with goat heads, and then I will and then I'll one up your goal. Not next week, the week after next. I will put a build of some breeze tones and a rebuildable. I don't know what I'm gonna use yet, but yeah. And then so boom, there you go. And then sorry, go ahead.
Hexome and a goat head.
And that,
as long as you start, turn that potentiometer down low and just gradually turn it up to your happy. That's an ideal setup right there.
Yeah, I'll try it out. And then I want to say good night to Steven. Sorry, he's got a dip. He always throws out links in the chat. He's always holding it down for advocacy. Great guy, so thank you for being here. But yeah, you know what? Yeah, he's been on the Friday show with us as well. He also looked like a lady that used to work on steel mills in World War II with his bandana. I love that guy. No. But yeah, so fine. I'll throw something on this one for next Monday's show. And then after that, we'll go to our whole rebuildable. A lot of people like the hexomes in the chat. I'm seeing people talk about it. Philly Vapes. What's up, man? Haven't seen it in a little bit, I don't think. But he says he always wanted one, never got one. I'll be dead honest with you guys. If I ever wanted a fancy piece, it would always be a hexome. But we had a very short run made. They made one for Eric at Local Vape, which was Locals Only edition. That thing was like, I can't remember the material, but that thing was shinier than anything I've ever fucking seen. And it was so cool. And I think we only made like 50. I didn't get my hands on one because I'm not going to lie to you, they're super expensive. But that's if I were to ever keep one personally, I want one. That's the one I want.
The thing I like about a hexome is that they're solid, they're well built, they're kind of old-fashioned in the way they work and what they are, but they've just stuck with it. They do different finishes, they do different colors, they do custom prints on the outside, but the hexome is a hexome. There's the 1, there's the 2, there's the 3, that's it. They're not flooding the market with, there's no hexome RDA, there's no hexome RTA. They haven't done a pod system. They haven't tried to advance and fill every market. They just keep chugging along, doing what they do.
They do something great.
Well,
yeah.
I respect that.
Stick with something that you know that's real good, and then I think with a lot of products, just maybe all you need to do is keep the insides good and just make it customizable on the outside to fit people. If you got something that's working good, don't break it. Just make it customizable.
I am not to to belittle other companies or designers that churn out a variety of products. I respect them too, but I don't know. Just have a thing about Hexum, the way they do their business, and that lifetime warranty. That's actually probably why they don't do as much, because they're able to maintain that warranty, because whenever it came out, it can be fixed.
Yeah. You ain't worried about finding parts that are different or anything. In the chat, go ahead, stop on the X1s. We'll throw that in the randomizer in a second. And I got to turn on my space heater because I'm cold. But, yeah.
You're back.
Yeah.
Nothing happened while you were gone.
Man.
Absolutely nothing.
I thought I was going to miss all the good stuff. All right. So. All right. No more X1s. All right. Now I'm going to take this, put it in there.
I have a feeling about who's going to win. Let's see if I'm right. And if they do, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to ship it. Let's see.
All right. So you get to choose, Steve, between 1 and holy shit, 1241.
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. And it is Boca. Is that who you're guessing?
That's exactly who it was.
When you said it was expensive,
Congrats,
I was like, son of a bitch. I know it's. I was like, you're not gonna guess it. You're not gonna guess it. He got it.
Oh, Voca, man, you lucky son of a bitch. You are going to love that device.
Also, Voca, I know I have I came across another hammer mod. I just want to share the story. And it was the V1 version, right? Very nice in the box from a coworker. He's like, hey man, I got another one you can give away in your show. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was like, I'm not going to give this away because it's going to cost me fucking for so much money to ship. So I hit up Voca and I was like, hey dude, I know that you were interested in this one. We did a giveaway. If you just pay for shipping, it's yours, blah, blah, blah. You can have it. And I haven't really followed through on it. We've been busy with the whole tax thing here. And then also I'm lazy. But Voca, send me your information and then I'll figure out how to get that thing figured out for that shipping. But this Hexum's on me. So yeah. Because the hammer I was going to send him came in a box that was like this big and it was like 8 pounds. It's all like wood and solid and all this. And I was like, yeah, man, I love you guys, but that's like a paycheck right there.
Hell yeah. Still cheaper than I would have been buying it when it was new, though.
Oh, I bet. Those things, because I didn't know much about them, and a couple coworkers, been around since like local vape first started a long time ago. They've been one of the first people and like doing vape stuff. Anyways, they've been there like since day one, and they saw them like, oh, these things are real cool, and I see how small it is and stuff. I'm like, okay, like it looks cool, but it looks like something I'd see that like a LARP or a steampunk would throw it at someone and then say magic dust came out and knocked you out, and now you have 5 resistance or something. I don't know.
Gotta admit, I kind of miss those days. We've moved into mass-produced products like this, which work well, and they've got great features and nice reliability, and the wiring is really nice. But that whole DIY aesthetic, and then I'll admit, this predates me, but these are the ones I was looking at pictures of when I first started. And yeah, there's just some really, really wild devices out there with gemstones and, made to look like lightsabers, or made to look like, if you're into Doctor Who, the sonic screwdriver and all that sort of thing. It's really, really cool shit that we used to have. It just doesn't seem to be as much of a DIY modern sort of aesthetic in the community these days.
I'm sure there's still some stuff floating around, but you gotta imagine it's gotta be super underground nowadays,
I think the people who are really, really into that, they very quickly move into being sort of high-end, small-scale pro modders, as opposed to the individual just making 1 or 2 cool things for their friends. But it'd be really, really nice to see. I mean, I like the look of all these things, but it would be really, really nice to see something coming out that is like way back when I worked for Starbucks. Starbucks cups were always a thing, but I was there when they came out with their first one. It was design your own. You undid the bottom, and the paper came out. You could just doodle whatever picture, put in your kid's picture.
Yeah.
And you could print out Goatsy and shove that in there, whatever you want. So it was fun to hand Goatsy to the person behind the counter. But those were kind of cheap and nasty, but they kind of redid that idea a couple of times. It'd be really nice to see some sort of mod system that is designed from the get-go. Nice design, nice lines, great functionality with the built-in sort of customizable options, like not just the screen with software and stuff, but where you could actually like fully design the outside your way.
Like a Nike ID, they do that with their shoes, but you can upload your own stuff to it and stuff.
Yeah.
And that'd be cool because I'm sure there's a lot of technology out there, especially with like how people do the epoxy covers and stuff. Like, you send them like a picture or something that you like, and then get it put in the mod.
Yeah. I know there's a couple of people that do Hammond box styles, which is the basic format of those hexomes, and you can get custom engravings on those, so you can have sort of a personalized thing, and those are cool. But I was thinking more like, the ones, I don't have any sitting here, but the kind that have panels. This basic kind of idea.
Yeah.
So you have the panels there, right? What if the panel was two-sided? You could open it up and put your own picture in there.
Yeah.
So you could print out something and stick it in and use it for a while. When you get bored, you could replace it with something else. That'd be kind of nifty.
Or if they did like a magnetic design, like they had those Android phones where you could switch out the plates on it, and then like you can do stuff like that. And plus, I mean, coming from the business aspect, that's a good market. Right there, because you can sell the customization and people do it themselves. You just sell the parts for it.
Well, that was a thing for a while. A lot of companies were putting out their devices, and then you could buy add-on plates to change the outside, which was a bit of a start, but you were kind of limited. Okay, I can get paisley, I can get wood grain, I can get carbon fiber, and I was always like, I want to see people modify these. I want to see people change them, put their own pictures on there, make them truly unique to yourself. I say all this, and I'm lazy as shit and have done nothing to pick that myself. It's been a while since I did any kind of handiwork.
Maybe
Not the guitar ones.
Maybe it's time to get back into it. In the chat, Brett Jordan says Billabong does theirs in the Philippines for their Kalisigs. I'm probably getting it wrong. Billa boxes are nice. That's something that I think that's one mod I've seen personally. I'm not a big fancy mod kind of guy, but I've seen those and I'm like, man, I'd like one of those. But if I ever had a billet box, I'd be wanting to wear a suit or something, make it all dapper.
Well, see, if you ever had a billet box, you'd be able to afford a nice suit.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because they're pricey.
Yeah, I got a coworker that works with us at the office, and he has got like 2 of them. And I photographed him for, he has a pretty popular Instagram page, and I photographed it for him once or twice. And man, that thing's real pretty looking, Raven says need a Vandal mod. I don't even know how I would, how I'd make a mod? I would just take something that was already built and put my name on it. How's that work? You call it the Dead Vandal Rabbit Goat 72.0 Goonhead 571 Drip Tits, whatever, That's
Drip Tits?
Drip Tits. Oh my god, there's a market right there. I've always talked about making a porn parody of vape gear. Drip tits. And it looks like a tit for your tip. Oh, man.
Like this. A little titty there.
Yeah, And then it squirts right out. Oh my god, genius. Coming to a strip club near you.
Hopefully not.
Shout out Frame Jinklin in chat. Good to see you, man. He came at the end of the show. Unfortunately, you missed all the good stuff because we're about to close it out. But
yeah, friends, you're gonna have to hit rewind and go back to the beginning. Sorry,
you don't have to.
No, you have to. It's the rules.
But yeah, so we're hitting the last 5 minutes. We got the giveaway winner, ID Voca. You already know. Shoot me your info. Actually, I already have your info. So tomorrow morning, I will leave this right here, and I'll take it to work with me. I'll shoot you a text. And I know you said you offered to pay for shipping on this. No way, man. Anytime you win something on here, It's fucking on the house, and it's to you guys for hanging out. I don't mean to pay you guys off to hang out with us, but I appreciate you being here, and this is me giving back to you. Legion gives great advice. Adam gives great advice. I give you guys stuff and talk about my butthole. Otherwise...
Hey, look at that.
Into the
Almost
show.
an hour in. Almost an hour in. That's the first time we've mentioned buttholes. It's a record.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
I knew it had to come out eventually.
It has to. It just has to every time. Like that weird ingrown hair on my mole on my neck. Anyways, Steve, you got anything to close out with?
Only going to touch on the same thing I mentioned before. As you know, I am doing a documentary and I am crowdfunding. If you can hit my Facebook page, Legion Vapes AU, look for Legion Vapes, that's me. Find my posts related to it and share them everywhere. Share them with anyone and everyone you can. And let people know that I am doing a documentary. I need money to make it happen. It's to help the vaping industry. It's to normalize who we are, what we do. If you can do that sharing for me, that's all I ask of you because, yeah, you got to get the word out there. Other than that, no reviews for me this week because, like I said, I'm tapped out. China has closed its doors and nothing new has come in. Hopefully this will rectify soon. Other than that, yeah, no more stuff today. What about you, Chris?
I really got to close out. I think we had a lot of good points tonight. And remember, guys, keep up the pressure on calling your representatives and the White House and all that. Just because it feels like we got to win, keep the flow going. Because if you stop bugging them about it, you stop getting on their mind about it, they're going to forget about you. The more you bug them and the more that the fake stuff's being debunked, they're going to want to have to look good and know what the hell they're talking about when they do this stuff. So if you keep it in their mind, you keep the pressure on, we're going to come through this on top. We've been saying it since we started this channel, and we'll keep saying it. Just keep up faith and keep up hope. It's going to look dark and gloomy and shitty all the time, but ever since then, we've gotten small wins here, and here, you know, with all this. We've got an administration right now that's fighting one side and the other. It's going to play to our benefit right now. So make sure you guys keep it going. And then make sure, here in the United States, it is the time to vote. Make sure when you go to vote, you're voting for something, or somebody, that's going to represent you. Don't follow just party lines because there's people on both sides that do stuff that's stupid. Make sure you know who you're voting for and why you're voting for them, and then follow through on that. And hopefully we'll have better people that are in charge next year and then coming in, and we'll have a better chance, better representation, and we'll, you know, be able to keep on here and keep doing this and being together with all you guys. I stuttered like 5,000 times, but that's all I got.
Absolutely, 100%.
But guys,
agree with you.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve, for staying here with me. We will be back next week. And like Legion said, check out the links, check out his page. And then also, last time I'm going to shell it out, Amigos20 at localvape.com gets you 20% off your whole order, where you can get Breezetones coils. He is also on Amigos. And if you did not know, he's got 2 new types of coils coming to Local Vape, which will be available very soon. You guys have to check those out. Otherwise, you guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time. This thing's not going to work. Watch. It's probably still recording.